Hello and welcome to Stage 4 of the Formula E New York City E-Prix 2020. That's kind of a mouthful. Here we're supposed to just move up to position 8, and that's not going to work for me, so I'm just going to try to win this race. Now, don't be shocked. I was shocked. I was shocked to see 5% charge for this race. That is nowhere near enough charge. I had no idea how I was going to make it. There's so much coasting that has to happen, and then I remembered. This was goofed up in the Berlin event. And I don't know what else to call this than a goof up, because it doesn't work this way in the regular Season 6 in the game in motorsports. So don't sweat it. You have more than enough charge to finish this race, even though it's now in the red, which is really scary. But I'm driving this car flat out the whole time. I'm shoving people. I'm doing all sorts of stuff that you don't do if you're worried about losing charge. I should have nowhere near enough to do this race. So anyway, there's some sort of a goof up, and don't worry about it. You're fine. So I'm shoving, I'm pushing. Not supposed to be getting really damaged here, but I'm just seeing what I can get away with. And I'm curious. Yeah, that silly guy, he hit the brakes for that slight turn. That's very annoying when they do that. I'm still tweaking my braking point for this particular corner. I was going to try to cut under him. Almost did. And I'm getting kind of rough with these guys, as you can see. Quite a lot of contact, and I'm getting away with it. Maybe this stage didn't say no damage, but so far a lot of them have. They've said, no off track and don't get damaged. But you can get away with a pretty good amount of pushing and shoving, like I'm doing. Looks like we only had to overtake 2 people, and as you can see, that wasn't good enough for me. So I'm over upgraded, over tuned, and if you didn't see my other stages, I'd invite you to go check those out. But I discussed that I did this so I could get a maximum principal XP. I bought the cheapest M tuning I could get to get enough principal XP so that I could max it out, because that part is permanent, and I wanted that for the time trial tournament. So far, I'm sitting in Group A, so that means I should make back 100 gold. Hopefully, my time is going to be good enough. We'll see what happens as more people fully max out their principal XP. I might have to go back to the track and do some more work. But so far, it's been good enough. I'm still sitting there, sitting happy. So, I overshot that corner. But did you see how much charge I had left? And I was driving that very aggressively. So really weird. Don't know why it is that way. So then that makes these earlier races where we had like 100% battery for 3 laps, it makes it just ridiculous. Now, they're not paying attention. They're thinking that I finished back in whatever, 6th place. No, I finished in 1st place. Now, of course, they can't redo the narration for every single person, but it is kind of funny. So here we are again. Looks like, I'm not sure if this is going to be 3 laps? Am I on lap 4 now, or is this counting as a nothing lap? Well, we're going to find out in, 10 seconds. When I cross the start-finish line, we'll see what happens. If the lap goes to 5. Okay, so still, basically, I don't know, what would that be? 2 1/3 laps? 2.5 laps? Let's just say 2 1/3. I think that the start line where they have us is kind of 2/3 of the way into a lap. Oh yeah, because there's this really long speed run here. So again, you can see I am getting rough. I'm wanting to get these guys out of my way. He was braking again. Silly, silly, silly Formula E bot. You're not supposed to brake there. And I took this corner way too wide. But then that's going to give me a nice speed run, and I'm going to do an inside pass on this guy. No trouble at all. Oop, kind of overshot that, didn't I? I lost my braking point. Sometimes what's happening to me, and this might happen to you. Oh boy, I'm sorry guys, I'm kind of bouncing off the walls. Heading into that last braking point, there's 3 distance markers. I'm braking between the 2nd and the 3rd, about halfway in between, maybe as close as 2/3 into the way in between them. Once in a while, I'm not counting correctly, and so I think I'm hitting the 2nd last braking distance marker, and nope, it's the last one, and then I go plowing into the wall. So that has been of little consequence so far. We'll see what happens going forward. Again, look at my battery charge. 1.85%, and I've got just a tiny bit left to go. What's going on here? It's very strange. So there's nothing to worry about for the first few races at least. We'll see what happens as we go forward. Heading into the very last turn to the start-finish line. Weird track how you've got this sharp 90-degree turn, almost 90 degrees, heading to the start-finish line. Certainly unique. We don't do that anywhere else, I don't think. Not a really sharp turn like that one. So far, easy races. Nothing to worry about. Okay, that was race number 2. Great work getting into position 6. Come on, man, aren't you paying attention? I won the race. And I think I did a pretty good job in doing it. So, good job, ME7, in winning the race. Okay, so for this one, what are we looking at here? Are we on lap 11 now? Okay, so we're going to have way more than enough battery charge for this race as well. Didn't do so well with that guy there, but what do you do? What am I supposed to be doing here? Oh, this is the race. Sorry. I am not allowed to pass and I'm not allowed to get passed. And what I find with these, each time we've had this type of a challenge, is that the longer the race goes on, the more you feel sandwiched. Because that guy keeps gaining. Now, if you really get sandwiched, what you could do is do some aggressive blocking. But you got to be careful doing that, because it's one thing if you're blocking just one guy. It's another thing if you have to start blocking a gaggle of guys behind you. I think it's better to try to stay hooked up to the guy in front of you. Try to stay in the draft. Don't hit him very much, because that's going to send him too deep into the corners. And then the 7th place guy is going to be able to catch up with you more. So be careful, but try to drive in a way that you're kind of blocking a little bit. That means you drive where the bots want to drive. So he's getting very close on me there. I think he got up to 6. Oh, and then I'm getting sloppy. And he's fast. Look at that. Is he getting a push, I wonder? Oh, he hit the brakes. Well, isn't that fun? Wow. That actually looks like he might have hit the wall. That's a substantial slowdown. Whoa, lost my rear end. Gotta be careful. That's an interesting corner. There's several different ways you can take that corner. Whoa, I did it again. Missed my braking point. Well, good thing it was of no consequence. And again, I could not use up that battery charge, even though I pushed it really hard. So, oh well, that race you're not allowed to do much at all, other than hold your position. Okay, getting on to the last race. Cracking down on driving standards. Okay, so that means not as much banging around as I was doing. Okay, so here we've rounded that same corner right after the start-finish line. 5.03% charge. That's very specific. But look at this race. This is longer. This is going to be a 3 full laps, so 3 1/3 laps. Battery charge could be a problem this race. I still want to try to win it. I'm going to bash him into the wall. And of course, I don't get the greatest trajectory there, but I'm just testing the boundaries of how rough you can get. Now, truth be told, this is my second time doing this stage. I got way too rough. I tried doing the pit maneuver on a bot and I failed. So you definitely can't get crazy aggressive. Now, what you might want to consider is getting out of the power early here so that you can coast a little bit, because charge is going to be a problem in this race. I am overdriving it. And okay, pay attention. 1, 2, brakes. There we go. I was a little bit early. I would have liked to have overtaken him. I'm going to do an outside pass here. I'm going to try one. I've been having success with that, doing an outside pass, and or get in a really nice run. Okay, I'm going to shove you off to out of bounds. Oops. Definitely not an oops. I definitely did that on purpose. Now, there's going to be a lot of lapped cars. Oh, man, I blew that braking point. Oh, boy. And then that wasn't the best. I don't think I'm going to be winning this race. I don't want to do it again. I'm definitely doing good enough to finish the race. Now, I'm going to block him a little bit. Actually, I'll just turn early. There, I turned early. I took his race line away from him. Oh, that worked really good, actually. Now, I've still got another whole lap to go. 4th place. I might be able to win. You see, I know that these guys start getting tangled up with lap traffic, so it just depends. Lap traffic at this track can be a nightmare because it can give you even less places to pass. Let's see there. Oh, and I blew the braking point a little bit. 2nd distance marker. That's what I want to be using. There, that was better. Just after the shade. Oop, that was not good. Fishtailing and wasting time. You know what? I did a video here where I was purposely doing a whole bunch of fishtailing. It was kind of a, lots of Finding Nemo clips in that one. That movie's a little bit old now, but I threw in some Finding Nemo clips. I threw in some Jaws music, and it's me catching the hunter car and eating it. I'll throw a clip to that one up. Ah, man, I just can't get very far in this race. Okay, I'm going to totally use up my battery charge, coast over the start-finish line, and let's see if it lets me pass. I think it's going to work. There we go. Still works. So you just need to be able to get to the start-finish line. So I'm going to throw up that funny video I talked about. It's older now, but I'm fishtailing all over the place on purpose, and I'm not hitting the walls. That's not easy at this track if you're doing a bunch of skidding and drifting. So that's it for stage 4. Please subscribe if you want to get these videos as fast as possible, and join me for tomorrow where I will be sharing my final numbers.